Hey there, leaders. Welcome. Think of the next few minutes as a quick, powerful coaching session just for you. We're going to dive into some of the most inspiring words ever spoken and, more importantly, figure out how to turn them into real, practical tools you can use every single day to fire up your team. All right? Let's get started.
So let me ask you something right off the bat. You've got budgets, you've got tech, you've got strategies, you've got all these resources, but what do you think is your single most powerful tool for actually leading your team? Seriously, what is it?
And the answer? Well, it might seem almost too simple. It's the words you choose. Every single day, in every meeting, every email, your language is what shapes the culture, defines what's possible, and drives performance. It's probably your most overlooked asset, but it is, without a doubt, your most impactful.
Okay, so where do we begin? Principle number 1 is all about shaping a winning mindset. You know, before a single thing gets done on a project, your number one job is to build a collective belief that, yeah, we can do this. It all starts right there, in their heads.
And wow, does this hit the nail on the head? Henry Ford absolutely nailed it. Belief isn't just some fuzzy feeling, it's a self-fulfilling prophecy. When you, as the leader, consistently talk about possibilities and solutions, you're basically programming your team for success before they've even started.
I love this slide because it's like a quick diagnostic tool for your own language. So listen to yourself, listen to your team. Are you all stuck talking about the roadblocks, or are you actively exploring the pathways forward? Just shifting that conversation from, well, the problem is, to, okay, a potential solution could be, that small change is a massive leadership move.
All right, so you've helped shape that winning mindset. Awesome. But what's next? You have to turn that potential energy into kinetic energy. A great mindset without action is, well, it's just a nice thought. Our job now is to get the ball rolling.
And who better to get a kickstart from than Walt Disney, right? This quote is your secret weapon against analysis paralysis. You know those meetings that go on forever? Sometimes the most inspiring thing you can say is just, okay, enough talk. What is the very first thing we can do right now? It just cuts through all the noise.
So how do you actually use that Disney wisdom? Here's a super simple 3-step playbook. First, help your team find the absolute smallest, easiest first step. Not the whole plan, just the first little domino. Second, have someone commit to it out loud. And third, and this one's a biggie, celebrate the start. Don't wait for the finish line. That initial momentum is absolute gold. But let's be real. Action means that sooner or later, you're going to hit a wall. That brings us to our third principle, building resilience. Look, every team hits roadblocks. The true test of your leadership isn't about avoiding those problems. It's about how you guide your team through them. It's about completely changing the story around failure.
This right here. This is the elephant in the room in so many organizations. This fear of failure, it just kills innovation. It stops people from taking smart risks and keeps everyone playing it safe. But your words have the power to completely dismantle that fear. I mean, how powerful is that reframe from Oprah? This is the kind of language you need to adopt. Failure isn't the opposite of success. It's a critical part of the journey. It's just data. It's a lesson. When you start calling failures stepping stones, you give your team the psychological safety they need to try big, ambitious things. Okay, let's get practical. How do you do this? First, please, stop calling them post-mortems. The word literally means after death. It's so negative. Call them learning reviews instead. Second, be vulnerable. Share a story about a time you failed and what you learned. It makes it normal. And finally, when something doesn't work out, actually celebrate the lessons you gain from it.
And the legendary coach Vince Lombardi just sums it all up, doesn't he? It's not about the mistake. It's about the response. That is the very essence of resilience. And your job as a leader is to be right there, helping your team get back on their feet and focus on the very next play.
So, let's pull all these threads together for our final section. We've talked mindset, we've talked action, we've talked resilience. It's time to remember that real leadership isn't about some big, dramatic speech. It's about the small, consistent, intentional messages you send, day in and day out. And this, right here, is the bedrock. This is the foundation everything else is built on. Because none of those inspiring words mean a thing if your team doesn't trust you. Your words and your actions have to be in perfect alignment. When you say you'll do something, you do it. That consistency is what gives all your other words their power. I want to leave you with this beautiful metaphor from Warren Buffett. Think about your words. every piece of encouragement, every coaching moment, every time you focus on a solution as planting a tiny tree. You might not see the full-grown oak right away, but you are creating a culture of shade and support that's going to benefit your team for years to come.
So, as we wrap up, the real question isn't just what you learned. It's what are you going to do with it? What words will you choose in your next meeting? What conversation will you start? What kind of trees are you going to plant for your team starting today? The choice, as always, is yours.